今天呢是维赛节哦，在我们的佛教的里面呢，是一个很殊胜的日子，所以在今天呢，很多佛教徒呢，他们都会去寺庙，要由于这个温情的关系没有这个机会，所以我们就做这个网上的传授3皈依、5戒跟8戒现在呢，那么在我们的佛教仪式里面，尤其是南传的是很简单的那就是你准备好了，你早上起来弄干净的身体的呢，穿白衣白裤那么点香点蜡烛，那么拿那个花那么呢就去到佛陀的面前供佛那么由于这边是一个要做一个很简单的仪式，我们就有代表先把这个鲜花呢供给这个传戒师来，他代表你们呢供花给这传戒师呢接过了之后大众一起顶礼3次顶礼3次。那么呢，接下来呢，你们就是要求受呢3皈依5戒先我们先做一个3皈依5戒，之后才做这3皈依8戒，好吗？好，我们先做3皈依5戒，好，一起念从那个玛扬盘提开始。
玛扬盘提，提萨拉涅那萨哈班扎西拉尼亚扎玛，杜迪扬毗玛扬盘提，提萨拉涅那萨哈班扎西拉尼亚扎玛，达迪扬毗玛扬盘提，提萨拉涅那萨哈班扎西拉尼亚扎玛。
你会看到班扎西拉利亚伽玛就是5戒那么我会慢慢的念，因为很多人呢他们不明白นะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะ
นะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะ
我看你们翻译一下也是好翻译一下华文的。礼
敬世尊，
慢慢
阿罗汉正等正觉，礼敬世尊，阿罗汉正等正觉，礼敬世尊，阿罗汉正等正觉。
พุทธังสารนังกัจฉามิ
พุทธังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ธัมมังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ธัมมังสารนังกัจฉามิ
สังฆังสารนังกัจฉามิ
สังฆังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ดุติยมปิพุทธังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ดุติยมปิพุทธังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ดุติยมปิธัมมังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ดุติยมปิธัมมังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ดุติยมปิสังฆังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ดุติยมปิสังฆังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ต ตติยัมปิพุทธังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ตาติยัมปิพุทธังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ตติยัมปิธัมมังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ตาติยัมปิธัมมังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ตติยัมปิสังฆังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ตาติยัมปิสังฆังสารนังกัจฉามิ我归佛我归法我归僧我归佛我归法我归僧我归佛我归法我归僧
ทิสารณกัมมานังนิทิตังสังกุยนะอิวัมปิ你们讲阿妈潘德
阿曼德
啊，现在是这个五戒的传授。巴那提巴达
巴那提巴达
เวรมณี
เวรมณี
สิกขาปดัง
สิกขาปดัง
สมาธิยามิ
สมาธิยามิ
我愿
我愿
学习受持
布萨僧戒
阿ทินนาดานา
阿毗那达那
เวรมณี
เวรมณี
สิกขาปดัง
สิกขาปดัง
สมาธิยามิ
สมาธิยามิ我愿学习受持不偷盗戒
กาเมสุ
กาเมสุ
มิจฉาจารา
มิจฉาจารา
เวรมณี
เวรมณี
สิกขาปดัง
สิกขาปดัง
สมาธิยามิ
สมาธิยามิ
我愿
我愿
学习受持
学习受持
不学因戒
不学一戒
I undertake
I undertake
the training rules
the training rules
to refrain from
to refrain from
sexual misconduct
sexual misconduct
มุสาวาดา
มุสาวาทา
เวรมณี
เวรมณี
สิกขาปดัง
สิกขาปดัง
สมาธิยามิ
สมาธิยามิ
我愿
我愿
学习受持
学习受持
不妄语戒
不忘语戒
I undertake
I undertake
the training rules
the training rules
to refrain from
to refrain from
telling lies
telling lies
สุราเมรยะ
สุราเมรยะ
มัจจปมา
มาจาปมา
ดัฏฐานาเวรมณี
เวรมณี
สิกขาปดัง
สิกขาปดัง
สมาธิยามิ
สมาธิยามิ
我愿
我愿
学习受持
学习受持
不饮酒戒
不饮酒戒
I undertake
I undertake
the training rules
training rules
to refrain from
to refrain from
intoxicating liquors
intoxicating liquors
and drugs
and drugs
that leads to
that lead to
carelessness
carelessness
อิมานิปัญจสิกขาปดานิสมาธิยามิ repeat 3 times
อิมานิปัญจสิกขาปดานิยามิ
อิมานิ
อิมานิ
ปัญจ
ปัญจ
สิกขาปดานิ
สิกขาปดานิ
สมาธิยามิ
สมาธิยามิ
อิมานิ
อิมานิ
สิกขาปดานิ
สิกขาปดานิ
สมาธิยามิ
สมาธิยามิ
อิมานิ
อิมานิ
ปัญจสิกขาปดานิ
ปัญจสิกขาปดานิ
สมาธิยามิ
สมาธิยามิ
我愿
我愿
学习受持
学习受持
这五项戒律
这五项戒律
我愿
我愿
学习受持
学习受持
这五项戒律，我愿学习受持这五项戒律。I undertake these 5 training rules. I undertake these 5 training rules. I undertake these 5 training rules. สีเลนะสุขติยันติสีเลนะโภคสัมปดาสีเลนะดิปุติยันติตัสมาสีลังวิสุทธาย Okay, with the undertaking of the 这个你们求说这个三皈五戒呢，它将带给你们呢幸福与安乐。สีเลนะสุขติยันติสีเลนะโภคสัมปดา，就是它能够带给你们的财富。สีเลนะดิปุติยันติตัสมาสีลังวิสุทธาย。那么在你往生的时候呢，你将会往生善道啊。那么Okay, in the English translations, I undertake the 5 training rules. It will lead us to happiness in this lifetime and many lifetimes to come. Sukati yanti means happiness. Bhoga sampada, that means it will bring you wealth. And then at the breaking up of this body, the heavenly abodes will be the place to be reborn. Right? So this will be the 5 precepts has been administered. Now, the next one we'll be doing the 8 precepts for those people who desire or have the intentions that to remark the Buddha's. Today is Wesak day, right? And majority of the Buddhists will observe the 8 precepts, 那么今天呢是卫塞节，说很多佛教徒在全世界都会不是5戒就是8戒，因为1年1次嘛，对不对？我们用来呢供养我们的佛陀ก็มันเป็นวิสาขะเนาะที่เป็นโลกเป็นศาสนาสากลทั่วไปก็รู้กันอยู่เพราะฉะนั้นวันนี้เป็นวันวิสาขบูชานะทั่วโลกเขาจะมีการเฉลิมฉลองเนาะด้วยการประพฤติปฏิบัติธรรมด้วยการสวดมนต์รักษาศีลนั่งภาวนานี่แหละนี่คือหน้าที่ของชาวพุทธเนาะเมื่อกี้เราไม่ได้ใช้เป็นภาษาไทยเพราะว่าคนไทยเขารู้เนาะเราใช้ภาษาอย่างอื่นก็ไม่มีอะไรต่อไปนี้ก็จะให้อารัตนาศีล8นะศีล8现在是求受8戒Now is requesting for the 8 precept.
มายัมปันเตติสารเนนะสหะอัตตาสิลานิยจามะตุติยัมปิมายัมปันเตติสารเนนะสหะอัตตาสิลานิยจามะตาติยัมปิมายัมปันเตติสารเนนะสหะอัตตาสิลานิยจามะ
华语的
尊者大德，我们向您请求三皈八戒。尊者大德，我们向您求受三皈八戒。尊者大德，我们向您求受三皈八戒。
英语的
Venerable Sir, we request the 3 refuges and the 8 precepts. Venerable Sir, we request the 3 refuges and the 8 precepts. Venerable Sir, we request the 3 refuges and 8 precepts.
นะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะ นะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะ
นะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะ
礼敬世尊
礼敬世尊
阿罗汉
阿罗汉
正等正觉
正等正觉
礼敬世尊
礼敬世尊
阿罗汉
阿罗汉
正等正觉
正等正觉
礼敬世尊
礼敬世尊
阿罗汉
阿罗汉
正等正觉
正等正觉
Homage to the Blessed One,
Homage to the Blessed One,
the Worthy One,
the Worthy One,
the rightly self-awakened One.
the rightly self-awakened One.
Homage to the Blessed One,
Homage to the Blessed One,
the Worthy One,
the Worthy One,
the rightly self-awakened One.
the rightly self-awakened One.
Homage to the Blessed One,
Homage to the Blessed One,
the Worthy One,
the Worthy One,
the rightly self-awakened One.
the rightly self-awakened One.
พุทธังสารนังกัจฉามิ
พุทธังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ธัมมังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ธัมมังสารนังกัจฉามิ
สังฆังสารนังกัจฉามิ
สังฆังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ดุติยมปิพุทธังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ดุติยมปิพุทธังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ดุติยมปิธัมมังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ดุติยมปิธัมมังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ดุติยมปิสังฆังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ดุติยมปิสังฆังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ตติยมปิพุทธังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ตาติยมปิพุทธังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ตติยมปิธัมมังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ตาติยมปิธัมมังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ตติยมปิสังฆังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ตาติยมปิสังฆังสารนังกัจฉามิ
我皈依佛
我皈依佛
皈依法
皈依法
皈依僧
皈依僧
第二次我皈依佛
我皈依佛
皈依法
皈依法
皈依僧
皈依僧
第三次我皈依佛
我皈依佛
皈依法
皈依法
皈依僧
皈依僧
I go to the Buddha for refuge.
I go to the Buddha for refuge.
I go to the Dharma for refuge.
I go to the Dhamma for refuge.
I go to the Sangha for refuge.
I go to the Sangha for refuge.
The second time, I go to the Buddha for refuge.
I go to the Buddha for refuge.
I go to the Dharma for refuge.
I go to the Dhamma for refuge.
I go to the Sangha for refuge.
I go to the Sangha for refuge.
The third time, I go to the Buddha for refuge.
I go to the Buddha for refuge.
I go to the Dharma for refuge.
I go to the Dhamma for refuge.
I go to the Sangha for refuge.
I go to the Sangha for refuge.
ติสารณกัมมานานิทิตัง Sangui Wampi, the ants, the going for refuge. And now is the administrations of the 8 precepts. Panatipata, Veramani, Sikhapadang, Samadhiyami, 我愿学习受持不杀生戒 I undertake
I undertake
the training rules
the training rules
to refrain from
to refrain from
destroying living creatures.
destroying living creatures.
Atidadana
Atidadana
Veramani
Veramani
Sikkhapadang
Sikkhapadang
Samadhiyami.
Samadhiyami
我愿
我愿
学习受持，
学习受持
不偷盗戒。
不偷盗戒。
I undertake the training rules
I undertake the training rules
to refrain from
to refrain from
taking that which is not given.
taking that which is not given.
Apramacharya
Brahmacharya
Veramani
Veramani
Sikkhapadang
Sikkhapadang
Samadhiyami.
Samadhiyami
我愿
我愿
学习受持，
学习受持
不淫戒。
不淫戒。
I undertake the training rules
I undertake the training rules
to refrain from
to refrain from
sexual activities.
sexual activity.
Musavada
Musavada
Veramani
Veramani
Sikkhapadang
Sikkhapadang
Samadhiyami.
Samadhiyami
我愿
我愿
学习受持，
学习受持
不妄语戒。
不妄语戒。
I undertake the training rules
I undertake the training rules
to refrain from
to refrain from
false speech.
false speech.
Surameraya
Surameraya
Majapama
Majapama
Dathana
Dhatana
Veramani
Veramani
Sikkhapadang
Sikkhapadang
Samadhiyami.
Samadhiyami
我愿
我愿
学习受持，
学习受持
不饮酒戒。
不饮酒戒。
I undertake the training rules
I undertake the training rules
to refrain from
to refrain from
intoxicating drinks
intoxicating drinks
and drugs
and drugs
which leads to carelessness.
which leads to carelessness.
Vikara bhojana
Vikarabhojana
Veramani
Veramani
Sikkhapadang
Sikkhapadang
Samadhiyami.
Samadhiyami
我愿
我愿
学习受持，
学习受持
过午不食。
过午不食。
I undertake the training rules
I undertake the training rules
to refrain from eating
to refrain from eating
at the forbidden time.
at the forbidden time.
That is afternoon. Okay. Nachagita
Nachagita
Vadita
Vadita
Visukadatsana
Visukadasana
Malakantha
Malakantha
Vilepanna
Vilepana
Dharana
Dharana
Mandana
Mandana
Viposana Thana
Vipusanatana
Sikha Veramani
Veramani
Sikkhapadang
Sikkhapadang
Samadhiyami.
Samadhiyami
我愿
我愿
学习受持，
学习受持
不跳舞、
不跳舞
唱歌、
唱歌
奏乐、
奏乐
观看娱乐，
观看娱乐
戒除以花环、
戒除与花环
香水、
香水
化妆品、
化妆品
装饰品、
装饰品
装饰美化身体。
装饰美化身体。
I undertake the precept
I undertake the precept
to refrain from
to refrain from
dancing,
dancing,
singing,
singing,
music,
music,
going to
going to
screen entertainment,
screen entertainment,
wearing garlands,
wearing garlands,
using perfumes, and beautify the body with cosmetic.
and beautify the body with cosmetics.
Uccasayana,
Uttarasayana,
Mahasayana,
Mahasayana,
Veramani,
Veramani,
Sikkhapadang,
Sikkhapadam,
Samadhiyami.
Samadhiyami.
我愿
我愿
学习受持，
学习受持，
不坐卧
不坐卧，
高贵
高贵
大船。
大船。
I undertake the training rules
I take the training rules
from lying
from lying
on a high
on high
or luxurious sleeping place.
or luxurious sleeping place.
Imani atta sikkhapadani silena sukkatiyanti silena bhoga sampada silena dibuddhiyanti tasma silang visuddhaye. These are the training rules. Through the virtue, they go to the good born. Through the virtue is wealth attained. Through the virtue, they go to liberations. Therefore, you should purify your virtue. 你们应该呢，持受这个八戒，由持戒故，使你达生善道；由持戒故，使你成就财富；由持戒故，使你达正涅槃。故此，你们应该好好持守这8项戒律。ครับ 几分钟？好，今天是维赛节 ，right? Today is Wesak day, and I got the honor to be invited by the Young Buddhist Association of Malaysia, and to administer these 5 precepts and 8 precepts to be given in Mandarin and Chinese. Sorry. So sit and meditate while you're listening to the talk. 你们今天我很荣幸能够为佛教界呢出一点力量跟你们诉说传授这个三皈依5戒跟这个8戒那么这个向日呢是由这个我们马来西亚佛教会的青年团呢所主办的所以呢我会用中英来讲解一下。很多人或许已经听过了，可是也是很多人也是第一次接触到佛教，因为刚刚嘛5戒是什么，8戒是什么，为什么要守戒律，这样麻烦的我们过着很平常的生活吗？为什么我要5戒？为什么要8戒？它的用意何在？这个是很多人的一种在进入佛教了之后，觉得他的行动被控制，行为不好的行为被控制，而且每次呢，这些人为什么呢会来信佛？因为觉得人生很苦对不对这个苦集灭道苦是第一个啦。可是佛陀不是只是跟我们讲苦，佛陀也跟我们呢讲出苦的为什么会苦，它的原因从哪里来那么怎样去修去灭这个苦，那么的方法怎样去灭它，就是我们现在所做的这个戒。为什么呢？万法由心起，因为每个众生的心里面都有这个贪嗔痴很贪需要这个需要，不是需要，很贪，太多东西了贪什么喜欢去杀生整身体的病，又不知道什么原因，为什么这边痛那边痛杀生再杀了每次病的人家不病，你一个人在病而已，有没有 做事不如意啊。为什么呢？杀生业很重啊，所以为什么要守戒律啊？就是它的原因在这里，不要去杀生。有哪一个众生喜欢给人家杀的？问你自己本身，你喜欢你自己给人家打、给人家杀吗？你喜欢吗？我看你知道那个答案。或者你喜欢你家里的人吗？或者你的亲戚朋友有没有你喜欢他们给人家杀的、给人家伤害？没有人要的啊！所以当我们有明白到没有人要，所以为什么佛陀要不给我们不去杀生呢？这就由我们控制我们自己呀，这个戒律来控制我们的这个所谓的无知无明的心。什么无知无明？因为导致人家去杀，就是什么妒忌咯，要的东西得不到咯，发脾气咯，生气，一气之下的被气到啊，这口气吞不下，宰了他，杀了他，拼了啊！而且在生意上的争斗，你看我们新闻啊，在马来西亚很多的在那个社会上啊，尤其是黑道里面啊，争地盘这一类的东西，天天打打杀杀的，或者去勾引人家的老婆做生意不择手段啊，骗到人家家破人亡啊！你看人的那种气消不掉，他就有杀意起了，很生气，你这样做太绝了，所以他们就没办法，就犯了这个重业杀生业。所以我们社会的问题呢，佛陀已经在2600多年前看到了人类的问题为什么这样做战争呢？就是这样咯，我们人类的贪，所以必须要用这个戒来控制最初步的不杀。你看如果不杀的话，哪里有人会做的炸弹子弹这些东西打打杀杀？你看这不是人类在做的，还是子弹自己跑来的吗？不是，那人的贪贪什么？贪地位，贪利益，夺取人家的那些利益。你看到这些无知无明的众生你们我这样讲都知道的，明白的，心里明白那么第二个就是什么？偷盗也是讲了嘛，刚才偷盗不偷盗。第三个邪淫也是讲了，由于邪淫的问题导致你的不服气，跟他家里的人讲，跟他朋友讲，哇，把人打打杀杀的，为什么？就是这样咯，很愚蠢，放不下。如果你有戒律的话呢，你就不会有这个问题了。犯这个所谓的不邪淫，一个老婆，一个 partner， 一个女朋友，一个男朋友够了，不要这样多，这样多事多。讲不好听一点呢，每个人只有一个而已有2个的吗？怪人对不对？奇怪的，现在的世界为什么呢？要心贪嘛，好色，贪这些所谓的感受上的、感官上的需求弄到整身体都坏掉要去看医生这一类，这什么谁做的？不是自己做的咩？你要小心，很小心，要自爱，自己照顾自己。你不照顾自己，谁能够照顾到你？你去找医生要吃什么更强的药这个疯狂的这些还没有死就要做恶鬼道的众生的这些人第三个妄语就是你的信用就没了。你每次讲骗话，1次2次讲还可以，你每次讲最好就是不要讲，不要去说不真实的东西，不要去讲，讲了人家对你的信用就没了讲了做不到。你看，所以有的时候人家讲不要讲，我们还没有做，不要讲先。你讲了你也做不到，很马路的，你知道吗？不要讲，做了才去讲。做的时候给人家发现了，人家去发现，不用去讲多的，做而已有的东西学这个所谓的妄语，有时候我们是无意，不是讲要承诺东西，或去讲了你做不到好像就无意中的讲骗话这样，所以不要去讲。 人家问你，你几时到？很难讲，你不懂几时啊？因为很无常的东西呀、可以事先的讲一下，可是无常就是无常，一发生你要去接受这个无常的呈现的实现的话，真的是无常啊！你看到煮东西煮，嘣一下就倒下去，完了。他是在示范教人家煮吃的泰国的一个女明星在煮的时候煮，还现场播音煮的嘣一下倒在那个锅里面，能够掉下来死掉，当场死掉，还不到30岁，你看人生的无常你看那么第5戒呢，就是喝酒的，跟现在的是很多这些毒品导致很昏迷的所以要加这个进去，因为对我们自己的身体不好，而且你一犯了这个不好的习惯你的费用就不够用了咯钱又不够用，家庭又不能够补贴一大堆的问题就来了。你看每一个家庭的单位，如果犯了这个5戒，你鸡犬不宁你慢慢去看你的左右，你自己本身有没有犯到这个5戒？你没有犯，你就很好你是很好的佛教徒为什么呢？因为你没有犯到这个5戒呢，你会得到什么幸福与安乐夫妻之间呢很安宁，很和和，因为夫妻之间有这种信用，你会明白到你丈夫不会出卖你你丈夫也会相信老婆不会出卖他，就是去搞这些婚外情。你看现在我们这个社会这样多离婚的，为什么呢？因为就是人的心不能够控制，没有戒律，所以导致的整个社会家庭单位翻天斗你看呢？那么这些小孩子怎么办？你很自私，这个父母亲很自私你们的事。你看如果我们是有责任心的人，有责任感的人，懂得什么是羞耻，应该做不应该做的，应该做的我们去做。一个在家人，你活这个5戒范围里面，不是讲你不可以唱歌跳舞你不可以娱乐，你可以，只是不要去做那些对你自己本身不好的，比如你去杀生导致什么？等一下满身体病痛这些短命名义上得到损失没有人信任你你看这些东西是什么？犯到5戒的，你慢慢去看，我们报纸上每天登的这些新闻全部是5戒的。如果你守好这个5戒你最基本你本身呢很平安，家庭安宁，很幸福只要记得现在我解释一下用英文的now the purpose of observing these 5 precepts. Now a lot of newcomers, when it comes to practice Buddhism, or we said to cultivate the good values of good human values for yourself. Now the first good human value we call precept: no killing, no stealing, no sexual misconduct, right? No telling lies, and no alcohol or drugs that cause one's mind to be careless. Okay, we go to the first one: no killing. Which living being on earth, right? We got to put ourselves first. Do we want people to kill us intentionally? Nobody wants. Or our friends or relatives? Nobody wants, right? Nobody would like that or want to be killed, right? And because of this uncontrolled mind, why human being resolve to killing? First thing is, of course, to say, we kill for food. It's because it's naturally that we kill for food, right? And second thing is out of jealousy, out of going after power, that people get involved with killings. You see, like the whole world is building all this sophisticated, so-called sophisticated weapon of mass destructions. It's for what? It's committing suicide for mankind, right? But this is the way, deluded world. This is the very suffering world we are living in. It's a world that is detrimental on this moral values, very detrimental now. It's getting worse, right? And why does it happen, right? And why the individuals, so-called individuals that holds the power, want to encourage this sort of thing, right? These things shouldn't be happening in this world, but because of the world, we say self-defense. They call it self-defense. They put it more in the lifestyle of self-defense, so that when you come, I can hit you back, right? And that's why the Buddha has contemplated on this issue and said, this world is not a good place to come, right? But because of our greed, our hatred and delusions, this three poison which is inside our mind, that's why we have been born to many kinds of beings and back to human beings, back to devas, asurakai, asuras, going down to hell and going back and forth, ding dong like that. So this is that. So when we start to observe the precept of no killing, right, we start to treasure life. We will say that, wow, life is on earth is so dear. We must spend our time wisely in the terms of the cultivation of precept, in the concentration practice, and to contemplate about life and how to eradicate these great hatred delusions or these sensory glands, sensual pleasure, by applying the teachings of the Buddha that has been taught, right? 2,600 years, the Buddha is the first one to discover the path for liberation, to free from great hatred, delusion, and total liberation from all these three poison, right? And that's why we have this teaching that still benefit beings who are eager and keen to learn, right? And of course, if you don't want to go to this extent, the Buddha did say that, oh, you can go to precept, like what has been administered just now, these 5 precepts, no killing, right? And no stealing. You see, why people steal? Because they lack of something they don't have. And because under the instigation of greed, under instigations of something they want, they doesn't have, they resolve to stealing, taking things that doesn't belong to themselves. And then, why? Because I want it, and I don't have it, so I steal it. You see? And when they are caught, they just say, I don't care, I want to have it. Well, this is so detrimental in our society nowadays. Kids has been caught stealing things in neighborhood or in the shopping center, and when they are being reprimanded by the parents, they say they don't care. Hey, why this thing happen? Because the mind of our youngsters has been so irresponsible nowadays, right? Because parents don't have the time for the children, never give that kind of dear love, dear care. And this is what happens when you don't have a hands-on contact with them. Every time they is with a handphone, they are insensible nowadays. They can talk to handphone, but they cannot communicate with human beings. They have feelings. They are talking with something that is no feeling. And that is very detrimental because the games that they get involved are very detrimental. It's killing, it's excitement, and all kinds of detrimenting content inside the thing. And this is what has been poisoning our youngster nowadays. You see, these are the world we are moving towards. And what is happening nowadays? Do we care for your future of our generations? I doubt so, right? You talk about freedom. What kind of freedom we want? Our next generation of elders, who are going to look after them? Do they have the kind of moral value in themselves? I doubt you can trust them. If they're for example, they are so irresponsible and they have been given a task, can they perform as a moral person? I doubt so, because of the greed and the kind of uncontrolled mentality they have been all the while indulging, right? They just don't care. God law, they break the law, you see. They break the law. And the law protect certain country, the law protect criminals. How can that be? The law should protect the innocent, not the criminal. And this is what happened. It's detrimental for what we can see. It's detrimental, right? And stealing, right? And you look at sexual misconduct, telling lies, and alcohol. All these things constitute to detrimental state for mankind. And we have been creating so much law. The worst thing is the law enforcer. They doesn't have this kind of trainings. They don't have the moral value in themselves. How can a person with no moral value uphold the law? They can't. They can't. Because it's full of greed, full of jealousy, full of hatred, full of delusions. And this is why the society is so detrimental. The society is so hard to live nowadays. Last time we have one parent that can feed the whole family. Now the society has been crammed into such a what do you call that? The burdens that few children can't even feed the parents because of this kind of corporate or bureaucracy work, right? The structure of this type of things, and has imposed a lot of things. You can see how things move. If this is not motivated by greed, hatred, and delusion in each and individual's human heart, then what does it cause? What the thing that causes it to be this way? Think about it. It's a food for thought, right? Why during our great grandparents' time, life has been so peaceful and not so mechanically advanced, not so much technology advancement. People are so happy. And nowadays we have all these things that are moving fast, and yet people are getting worse. The moral value getting worse, human practices getting worse. We have more than ample food, and we have all these homeless people, no house to live. We have all these people with no food and so forth. Why? Because we don't have that kind of moral value to instill in them. And we only fit into the demand, what we call democracy, the right. If you're using the right, the right of the Dharma, the right of righteousness, I tell you, we won't have this problem, because we have hiri ottappa, we have this feel shame and scared of doing evil things. We have this moral value, we have this compassion, we have this what we call harmony, right? Helping, forgiveness, all these good moral values, good human values to be educated in the education system, to be practiced at home and expanded externally. Then you can really, upgrade. We don't talk about the whole mankind. At least a portion of human mankind can be uplifted morally, right? You look at nowadays, it's very scary, right? Every generation is changing to the worse, not to the better, it's to the worst, right? But we can see, a lot of temple, very few people go. A lot of casino, fully packed. Nightclub, fully packed, right? All these detrimental premises that encourage drugs, that encourage free sex, get drunk, and all kinds of crazy things happening, packed. Why? Because it goes in line with human greed. And that's why human mind, that the Buddha say, this mind, right? The practicing of Dharma is something that is going against the stream of the world. The stream of the world is the greed, hatred, and delusions. I'm not talking the stream of the world that is happening in society, like people opening a decent shops to sell things and earning a decent living. Yes, that's correct, because they have the moral value. They don't cheat, they don't steal, they don't tell lie, and that's good. But what happened is unwholesome activity has been encouraged, right? And human beings love that. And they thought it's fun, it's fun. When someone gets sick and die, they start to regret and cry. And we have so much law, so many rules, laws, enforcement, and yet we cannot contain this kind of happening. Why? That's why this moral education is very, very important and very, very crucial at this present moment, that it should be implemented into the system, right? But what to do? This world, this world is the world of what? Full of greed, hatred, delusion, and people who are holding in power. They doesn't have this moral value, and this is why the whole world is burning in furious fire, right? And this pandemic that we're going through now, especially like what's happening, because human beings don't cooperate, right? They don't listen. They are stubborn, right? And again, we have air that we could hardly breathe. We have water that we can't drink, right? We have soil that we can't cultivate because full of chemical. We have vegetable that is full of chemical and you can't eat it. If you eat it, you're sure to get cancer. And nowadays, if you say someone got cancer, oh, normal. It's abnormal if you don't get cancer nowadays. Abnormal, right? So this is human destruction, human self-made destructions, right? That's why the Buddha's teaching is enforced or come in time for those people who have these self-reflections, right? That they respect themselves, that they want to be a good person, they want to change to a new life. You observe the precept. You want calmness, you want peacefulness, you want to have blessing in your life. You bless yourself, for heaven's sake. Yeah, you can't get the blessing from externally, but the way you behave, the way you practice is opposite. It's just contradict, right? This is not the Buddha's teaching, right? And a lot of people, they just contradict. So if you practice, you will get a peace of heart, because with your controlling restraint of the precept, that means your actions, training rules to control actions. So a person who didn't commit the mistake or the wrongdoing, they won't feel what? They won't feel remorse. They won't feel regret. They won't feel that, oh, I shouldn't have do this, I shouldn't do that. And they feel at ease, right? And then when someone knocks on the door, it's the police. Is it the police? Is it the authority? No. You wake up, no fear. You wake up, no doubts, no nothing. Very clear mind. You always have this kindness in your heart, this compassion mind, right? And you always have this forgiving mind that, well, we human beings tend to do mistake, right? We acknowledge the mistake and we correct and we move on. And this is the way we live, right? We cultivate a kind of mutual respect, right? No prejudice. And this is how we can coexist in this kind of diversity society, right? So today is Wesak Day, right? I hope this Wesak and this pandemic that's happening around the world really will shake up this human mind. Wake up, spend your time wisely, right? You can run after material things. When you die, you leave everything behind. I don't think that, oh, since I'm going to die, I'm going to enjoy to the fullest. This is something a lot of people tend to think. Since I'm dying, I don't give a damn. I just enjoy. I enjoy, drink to the fullest, screw to the fullest, everything to the fullest. In the end, AIDS. In the end, all kinds of sickness, all kind of treatment, all kind of regret, remorse, and then after they die, go to hell. Because why? The mind is in the sad state, regret state. But on the other hand, if you observe this 8 precept or 5 precept, right? Deep in your heart, previously, yes, I might be a very, very improper in behavior person. But since the uptaking of this precept, you're opening up your heart. It's no more that congested. You have cleared away all this bad habit in yourself by reinforcing, introducing new moral value in your lifestyle. No killing, no stealing, no sexual misconduct, no false speech, no alcohol, and you got cultivations of your mind, sit and meditate, right? You eat well, live well, sleep well, and you be a better person. And this world will be a better place to stay. Even though you're living in the world of very fury like what's happening now, but you are the least affected mentally. Physically, of course, everybody suffered. A lot of inconvenience in terms of movement, in terms of activity that you have been doing. That's why you got to go on what we call via Facebook, via all these media platforms, right? Lucky we have all these things. If not, a lot of people will go nuts, go crazy. But for those good practitioners, whether there's media or there's no media, deal with themselves, deep inside their heart, because they know how to do self-contemplations. That means they know how to do self-check. What was my mental thought? What was my mental state today? And what did I say? What did I eat? What did I speak? What did I do? What did I think? And how is it going to have the impact in me? You do this self-check and you live a peaceful lifestyle. This is what we call mindfulness training. This is what we call the 4 foundations of mindfulness, right? In terms of your kaya, your body, that means your action, your speech, vedana, how you feel, citta. You see, those thoughts that brush through your mind, you knew. Yeah? Dharma, this thought, whatever thing, these mental formations, everything externally, internally, you know very well. So you see this whole practice about mankind, right? The Buddha has discovered the way. That's why when we do the practice, it's just that rain. We don't care where the rain comes from, the northern side, eastern side, western, southern or what. When the rain comes, boom, go down to the ground, overflow, boom, all go down where? Oceans. Same thing with the practice. Same thing with the practice, right? If you do it correctly, you go to the same place, peace of heart, free from greed, hatred, delusions, free, right? So that will be my advice for this Wesak day, and I hope I doesn't offend anyone, right? And should I, right, unintentionally hurt someone, right? I ask for your forgiveness, right? 如果在我的这个讲座中呢，有冒犯谁，你们不要介意我没有这个恶意所以今天是维赛节祝你们呢能够在维赛节呢守好你们的五戒，发好你们的愿，愿你们能够真正的呢达到你们所谓的幸福与安乐。Okay, so all the best wishes to all the Buddhists of the world, and may all your radiant hopes be fulfilled. Now I'm going to do a blessing. ยะถาวาริวหาปุราปาริปุเรนติสากรังเอวเมวะนิโตตินาเปตานังอุปกปปติอิจิตังปฏิตังตุมหังคิปะเมวะสมิจตุสัพเพปุเรนตุสังกปปา จันโทปนาราโสยธามณิโชติราโสยธาสัพพิติโยวิวัชชันตุสัพพะโรโควินาศตุมาเทภววันตรายโยสุขีทีขายุโกภวะอาภิวาดนาสิลิสนิจจาวุธาปจายโนจตารโอธัมมาวาดันติอายุวันโนสุขังบาลาภวตุสัพพมังคลาราคันตุสัพพเทวตาสัพพพุทธานุภาเวนะสดาโสติภวันตุเตภาวตุสัพพมังคลาราคันตุสัพพเทวตาสัพพธัมมานุภาเวนะสดาโสติภวันตุเตภวตุสัพพมังคลาราคันตุสัพพเทวตาสัพพสังฆานุภาเวนะสดาโสติภาวันตุเต